It was really irritating, this little peak hole needle. When it got to about there, it was just dropping under its own weight. Well, I tightened the nut up on it, and then it was too stiff, and it was a right old fiddle. So what I actually did was to do what I should have done in the first place. I just added a counterbalance weight this side. The needle, there was like a stubby needle sticking out this side, but it wasn't heavy enough to counterbalance the main needle. So I just got a thin bit of tin plate, folded it over, pushed it on there. That was too heavy, cut it down a bit till it just balanced nicely. So if I put a thin bit of wire through that, you know, took it all off, put a thin bit of wire through the hole, let it spin round, and it would just stop in random positions. It wouldn't just drop down with the needle. So now I've got it back together. Yeah, it's firm, but it's not tight, and it's certainly not going to, if it works loose, it won't drop under its own weight like it was. These little things irritate you if they're not right. Yeah, just a little bit of work on the knocks. On the belt sander, I sand her flat at a slight angle like that, and just get a block of horn with a nice flat sanded on it, glue them together with high viscosity super glue, bound on with some rubber strapping for a couple of minutes, and then start roughing it out. The hard bit is blending in this area here, so when I do the original block of horn, I sand it so it's feathered out to virtually nothing. But often you're gluing onto a curved surface, so you have to try and follow that surface, so you may end up with an angle across here, unless the wood's nice and symmetrical, but that just adds to the look of it. So what I'm doing is I'm working in like that with the curved face of my 10-inch bastard file, and I'm just trying to make sure I remove horn but I don't cut into the back of the bow. Not because it matters, it's just to make it look like a seamless blend. This is the other knock, and that's been glued on, so you can see how I get it to a fairly fine edge before I glue it on, and then the sides have been just cleaned up on the belt sander. So it's roughed, ready to start work, you know, filing and what have you. That one's a bit longer, that's the top knock, and of course that will have 2 string grooves in to allow me to use a stringer if necessary. To cut the grooves I normally use just a tile saw, but also sometimes I'll start the groove off on the bandsaw, then I'll go to chainsaw files for rounding it off. Anyhow, that's a little bit of knock work. I've got the horn knocks on. I've given it a quick wipe of Danish oil. I know I'll need some sanding to smooth it off a bit more, but just to see what it looks like really. I'll put the string on and we'll get it back to full draw. I pulled it back without an arrow to a decent draw. Obviously I can't shoot it, not on that tillering string, not with that big steel loop there. That's 24, that's 50 at 25, there's 26, there's 27. There you go. Hopefully when I view that it'll look beautiful, and all that struggling and messing about back and forth will be worthwhile.